always told with pure intention. Every voice gets full attention. Building trust without contention. Stronger through our connection. From La Videa to the diaspora. No gimmicks, just real data. Transparency is our mantra. Shining bright like an aurora. We are the voice you can believe in. Through the airwaves we keep giving. Day and night.
Again, I'm your host. My name is Derek Yale, and let's get started. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're joining us from. Let me say welcome to the Liberia Radio and Television Network. My name is Derek Yale, and I will be playing host tonight on episode 4 of season 8 of The Hot Zone. If this is the first time joining us, The Hot Zone is an opinion-based talk show where we feature a team of panelists for different political institutions, different political persuasions. And here on The Hot Zone, there's no gimmick, no fluff, just real talk. Very shortly, I will be introducing our panelists lineup for tonight. And tonight, again, it's my pleasure to announce that we also have a special guest. But before all of that, let me provide a disclaimer as always. On The Hot Zone, all of the opinions and position that will be offered here by the panelists are not the official position of the network, but that of the individual panelists that will be offering them. With that being said, let me encourage all of you. We are shooting this podcast live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So please do us a favor, make sure you're following us on all of those networks, and also please share this podcast on your individual social media pages so that your friends and family will be able to benefit from what we have in store tonight. Just to go over some of the breaking news we've been seeing this week and maybe the week before that. And I'll just take a very brief pause and just, since it's the brand new year, on behalf of myself and the network, let me extend a happy new year and happy holidays to you, your loved one, and your family. Now let's just go over the current event breaking news we have. We're going to start on a very sad note. It's unfortunate because those in the diaspora, we broke the news about the dead, I'm sorry, pardon me. But in Aikene, Iowa, authorities police said that they were called for a welfare check at an apartment place and they found a dead woman inside with an apparent stab wound. And as that news developed, we got to learn that was a Liberian woman and were allegedly killed by a Liberian man. Now that begs us to ask the question, what is actually going on within the Liberian diaspora community? Because it wasn't too long when we also heard of a news involving one Wesley Benedict Kobo, a Liberian living in Minnesota, was arrested in Canada for killing his partner and the mother of his 5 children. So we've seen a lot of issues involving domestic violence here in the diaspora that involve Liberia. And that's very concerning. And also moving on to the current events in Liberia, we are seeing the LDA came out very strongly criticizing one of their own. 2 LDA officers have been criticized by the agencies for assaulting a Liberian woman. Just before that, President JNB released a New Year message of national unity, and that is available on the Executive Mansion or a Facebook page. And also, just as a breaking news, and speaking of Joseph Boakai, his political advisor, Madam Madela Cooper, is involved in a lawsuit. So we're following that development. But heavy on our agenda tonight is the United States invasion of Venezuela, taking the president and his wife into custody. We've seen the world reacting to that, including our very own Liberia. Too many people have been condemning that. Liberia expressed concern and condemned the U.S. action, and it has raised a very important debate. Was that action done for, like some have been claiming, the United States to take the Venezuela's oil, or was it Donald Trump promised fight against illegal drugs coming to the United States? And overall, the president did that legally. So we'll have our panelists on eventually to have that discussion. But just to end this segment, the introductory part of this show, on a very happy note, today we are privileged to have a special guest, the appointed council member from Prince George County, Maryland, Mistress Wala Blige. So that's all we have for the current event. Welcome back to the Hot Zone. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If this is your first time joining us, welcome to the Liberia Radio and Television Network. Just a little bit about us. We are a local media institution right here in Northeast Philadelphia, where we're shooting this podcast from. And we have our office open in Liberia as well for business, and we broadcast this podcast on Facebook, live stream, and YouTube, and then on Instagram. So let me encourage all of you watching us to please make sure you're following this network, and also make sure you're sharing this program on your individual social media pages. I know it took a while to actually introduce what we have for a current event, but thank you for bearing with me. And we have our panelists lined up tonight. We have Mr. Martin Boda. Welcome. Let's have Mr. Boda on.
Yeah, Derek, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be a part of the network and part of the show. And our listeners, I say welcome again. We're back.
Thank you very much, Mr. Boda. Other panelists will be joining you eventually as the show progresses. But as we promised in the introductory part of the show, we are privileged to have a special guest on tonight. So let's have Mrs. Blige on our screen, and then before we even ask her for introduction or anything, we have a video to play for you. So let's have Mrs. Blige on, and then we'll play a very short video, and then we'll go to our guest.
It was a beautiful day. It was an honor that our Prince George's County Fire Department, under the leadership of Chief Tiffany Green, decided to donate all types of fire equipment for the firefighters to the Republic of Liberia. The Republic of Liberia is the home of my father, and many of the residents that live here have ties to Liberia like myself. And today the Liberian Community Association and the embassy came to accept this donation, and it is quite an honor as we're seeing the cut of USAID, other programs. At least we know we ourselves can give back, because it takes a village. And it is also an honor. I was joined with many of the community leaders from this area came out to support, thanks to our acting county executive, Tara Jackson, and to Chief Tiffany Green, who are amazing and working so fast to make sure that we could have these donations.
Today was a great day. Prince George's County Fire and EMS Department was able to partner with Councilmember 6, Wala Blige, to give over 40 sets of personal protective equipment to Liberia. It's important to us because our mission is service to our community here, but also service to international partners as well. So to be able to equip our firefighters internationally with gear that's going to protect them while they're saving lives is an important mission of Prince George's County Fire and EMS Department.
Thank you very much. Now, if you're watching us, let's go to Mistress Wala Blige, appointed council member of Prince George County, Maryland. Welcome to the Hot Zone. It's good to have you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. First of all, on behalf of the network, I know I did tell you this in the back, but congratulations again on your appointment and welcome to the Hard Zone. So
Thank
this is
you.
going to be an interview that with you, myself, and a couple of panelists. So how we ensure to do it? You take questions from us. We'll give you the opportunity to answer the question, and then we'll take turns asking you questions. So I will just get the ball rolling. Just talk to us about who you are. I know we already went over some things, but just would like to hear it from yourself. Just talk to us what you've been involved with, and then we'll go around asking you all the questions.
Thank you so much. Well, I'm Walla Blagay. My name is, if they were in Nimba County, they would say Wula. But Walla means God. I'm according to God's gift is my full name. My family's from Nimba County, and my dad is from Nimba County. And I was born and raised in Washington, D.C. I started my advocacy in the community advocating for our Liberian refugee community when they were coming in. And I was a kid then, and we would go meet with the council members all in the area to make sure that refugees were safely placed in the area in DC. And I was born and raised in Washington, DC. And that really got my advocacy going. And when I got to college at University of Maryland, I actually decided, at first my mom said I would be a doctor, but I decided I wanted to get into the political world. And during the time shortly after I graduated from college, because I worked in the state house, and then when I was doing that, there was the TPS there was a temporary protective status for Liberian community that ended, and when that ended, that TPS process ended. That was ending actually, and I wouldn't say it ended. It actually was ending. We got a call from advocates asking for help, and I worked for Congressman Hoyer then. And when I worked for Congressman Hoyer, I decided that I was going to uh, basically help the group. So I brought the community out, and they came and they decided to support. We advocated, and then Congressman Hoyer reached out to President Bush at the time, and they kept it. They kept them there, and then we went back again in 2019 when under Trump they were going to end the DED, and there we got super active. And I brought Liberians to Capitol Hill. We advocated and met with all of the Maryland delegation, because Maryland delegation, by that time I was a lawyer, I was an advocate in the community. I had the show Chat with the Lawyer, connected residents with lawyers. So that's why the Liberian Community Association reached out to me, because they said we need lawyers for those who are facing deportation. And we made it happen with the advocacy we did on the Hill. They actually went and decided to add it in a budget where they would where those that were DED would have a straight pathway to citizenship. And I would say that was huge, because if it were today, if we had not done what we did, those Liberians would be deported today under this administration when it's been. So we really now most of those people have green cards because it's been 5 years and they're a pathway to citizenship. So legal status here. So I've been an advocate, especially in the Liberian community, but overall in Prince George's County, I was counsel for the DC Nurses Association. I worked on a variety of issues and kept doing it. So I'm really excited that I got elected to the council, and that was elected to the council. It's a majority African American community, one of the wealthiest African American communities in the country, Prince George's County. And a lot of Liberians used to live in Montgomery County, where you talked about Silver Spring, and they started moving into Prince George's County. And so we have the wealthiest community, and that community runs the federal government. We have, when you think about federal workers, we've been attacked right now, but a lot of those federal workers, a lot of those federal contractors come straight from Prince George's County. And I started representing that community in 2022, making sure that people understood that they needed a fighter that will push for them. And what I got on when I got on the council, I pushed for healthcare, I pushed for advocacy on a variety of issues. I'm working on data centers, increase of electricity costs. We worked on HOA legislation. And even there, you saw the video, we were able to donate some of our fire equipment in Prince George's County to Liberia. And we donated more actually 2 weeks ago. So I've been out in the community now for 4 years, making sure people understand that they need a leader, that their voices are heard. And I'm just so happy that the opportunity when it was at large position, I put my name in and I have been appointed to that position and serving in it as of Monday. And why my colleagues supported me unanimously is because of my advocacy, is because I've been a voice beyond just my district, countywide on a lot of issues, from primary care issues, all of those issues, emergency room wait time, all of those issues, I've been a leader on it. And I just want to make sure that people know that I'm going to continue to support them on the next level. So that's who I am. I've been an advocate in the community. I've told when we hosted the president Bokai at in Prince George's County at Redeemer's Chapel for the diaspora conference, we had the town hall, and I told them I'm the only Liberian elected official in this area. We would love to host the president, and we did, and it was an amazing event. And I think that he felt the support there. And I also told them Prince George's County is heading to Liberia later this year. We've moved the dates back. It's been hard to set on a day, but we have been out there trying to get trade admission. So we actually had the ambassador come to our Economic Development Corporation. That was about a month ago. And when he came, he talked about the various industries. We had so many people that were interested in doing work in Liberia, and so many people who actually have done work and want to do more, especially with this government. So we are trying to connect the dots. We are heading to Liberia. We're doing a West African tour, so it's not just Liberia, it's Nigeria, it's Ghana, it's Liberia, and we're going to do a 3-country tour. So yeah, so this is exciting, and I want to, as a Liberian elected official in this area, I want to make that moment. I want to be that voice.
Thank you very much. And I know for a fact I have a lot of questions for you based on a lot of different issues, both in the Liberian community and in the diaspora community as well. So I would just like to start before I go to Mr. Bodat. For the sake of education, the position, council, being a council member, what does that entails? Just talk to us about that position. What are your primary responsibilities? How does it affect people, especially those in the Liberian community, if you will?
That position is really focused in on we have a $5.9 billion budget for Prince George's County, and we determine the school system, how that money is spent, how the money is spent to make sure we have the beautiful communities, planning out economic development, what comes to the county. We just lost a big one. We lost the Commanders, Washington Commanders. That was based in my district. That just left. Six Flags left. So we got to talk about, we're courting businesses. We go to Las Vegas to court business to come. We also focus in on healthcare issues. I chaired the Board of Health, where we're focused on the chairing the Board of Health. My focus has been on primary care, bringing more primary care to the county, addressing room wait time. So we address healthcare issues, and then housing issues. We deal with bringing affordable housing to the county that comes through us. We tourism. I know people talk about that, making sure that we support that and having healthy communities. So all of the local issues is really something that we are hand in hand involved with, right to the ground. So and people know that we are that arm of, like, when people look at the government, they look at Trump and all those things, but the truth is that every day the schools, all of the everyday things comes from from a council member. So a lot of people have actually told our Liberian community, so many people are so focused on home and all that, but here you can gain so much from just being involved in your local community, whether it's funding affordable housing, whether it's addressing public safety, whether it's addressing bringing investment. I mean, we like to talk about trade missions, things like that. So you can get involved locally and make a difference. And we want our community to do that, because we do find that we don't, in our community, we oftentimes have not been in elected office. And what I would tell people is, when I was running, people actually said to me, I'm never going to win an election with an African name. And what I told them is that they didn't know that in almost every community in our county, there were Africans are voters, but they, many people don't see us, and we need to start showing our face.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Before I move on to Mr. Martin Boda, let me just recognize the presence of two additional panelists that just joined. Let's start with you, Mr. Jai Winkin. Happy New Year and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Derek. Thank you, Wala, for showing up. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And you too, Mr. Brown. Happy New Year and welcome to episode 4 of season 8. You're on mute.
Sorry. Thank you, Derek. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you, Mr. Boda. Let's come to you.
Thank you. Ms. Boda, I'm glad to interact and chat with you on this forum. I'm very much excited and impressed with your presentation and your advocacy in our community and at large, helping our Liberian community as well. I know it's not an easy task, but I'm grateful that we can have somebody who, coming from our community, understanding the plight of our people. I heard you talk about advocacy and doing your declaration on line of advocacy for our people. My question to you today is, how do you intend to address our current situation in particular immigration, the way how many people of color or immigrants have been treated in many aspects related to immigrations? Because in our earlier, President Trump had mentioned earlier when he was running for president, he was going to go after criminals. But he had taken a different dynamic and a different trend wherein everybody had become into the part where you can't understand who is a criminal, who isn't a criminal. So how do you intend to work with your council and work with the current leadership in advocating for many Liberian community? Because I know there are some of our Liberians who have immigration issues and who are facing challenges as any other community.
Well, we've heard that, and I will say this: we warned people during the election. When we saw that, I wanted to give people back to what we saw in 2019. The Trump administration did not care much for the Liberian community in 2019 and put them on a list to remove their status. When we advocated with the Democrats, the difference is that the Democrats were in leadership then, and the Democrats were able to stop and halt what he was going to do. But when we got to the to Congress, we definitely had people saying that lock them up. And where we were standing, the Liberians that we were protecting there, these were nurses, and you're talking about people who are saving people's lives every day. They're not criminals. And so when he was running again, I warned people. I said, look, this administration does not care about going after criminals. They're going after any group of color that's an immigrant community. Unfortunately, in Prince George's County, there's been a lot of raids. We have had ICE agents throughout all of Prince George's County, going after people who are actually living peaceful lives. The one thing we want to do is we do need to stop the bleeding. We do need Congress to change in 2026. And once Congress changes in 2026, it will make a difference in how in how we have the treatment of our immigrant communities, because the reality is that there's even stories that certain people that are being rounded up by ICE agents are even don't have any illegal status, but are just being targeted because they are immigrants. We are a country of immigrants, and we do recognize that there is a group that is very resentful of our success in being here, and have, used this as a way to attack us as if we've done, the immigrant community has done something wrong. So we definitely need to change Congress, because there's no way you could change this administration. This administration has been clear. And we saw it in 2019. And I actually remember telling people, as we were looking at, as they were doing the big fight at that time, I said, look at these people saying lock them up. And we're talking about working people who are not doing anything to bother anyone. So we are, on a local level, we have limitations. We have passed laws that limit our local government from being involved with any of the ICE actions. And we're not even allowing them to get access to our, because a lot of times they've said, okay, we would like to know, get access to your court, to your jail, so that we could deport people or things like that. And we've said no, because at the end of the day, those are administrative notices that they have to do a deportation. Those are not criminal, they're administrative. So our police officers, our sheriff, none of them can be used in any type of deportation. That has to be ICE and ICE alone. But it has brought issues. I mean, there has been deportations near schools. I've noticed that we had a legal clinic where we invited our immigrant community to come out to get to meet one-on-one with lawyers, and they refused. They did not come out. They're very afraid. We know that in the African community, one thing I will say is that we need to be more upfront about, and more open to people about our status, so people can help. But we often hide it, and some people suffer in silence. And then, to be honest, that limits us from being able to help our community. So hopefully we'll begin to trust each other more, so because we can do more to help people if we know what's going on. One of the things we do see, a lot of people were waiting on official status, and then all of a sudden their applications have paused and nothing has happened. So we do recognize that, and usually when it paused, that does give you a time to, you can still use your paperwork, but that is impacting some people as the delay goes on.
Thank you very much. Mr. Boda, do you have a follow-up on your question, or can I move to the next panelist?
Yeah, move to the next panel later. If I got other questions, I will ask. Thank you for your insight on the information that you shared with us.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Boda. I'm sorry. Mr. Jawikin, I would like to take you next.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Walla, for your work. I have an idea about what you are talking about, because I also help do a lot of cases for people. You are 100% right. There are few people that arrive on the regular status. That is, that were they came on a family visa. Their spouse, their father, and a regular wife. Since they arrived, has been a long time. The green card, for a long time, we've been chasing it. They keep saying it's being processed. Or I also got a few people who came of fiancé, which is very, very frustrating part of the whole thing. It's the worst part of coming to the United States. You guys have been here for almost 7 months, and up and down, nothing happened to their cases. For each time we try that, but it is what it is, as people say. I have people coming to me like, "Oh, what can we do?" Well, at this point in time, we can't do anything. If you write, and it is more difficult right now, even if you were to make a call, the way you used to get people on the line to talk to them, no, you can't get anybody. At some point, they're going to cut you off. So, they will refer you to AMA, and you keep writing, talking here and there. So again, for doing that for the Liberian community, I would like to commend you, and for such. But this is what we have in this country. I specifically don't have a question, but I don't know, beyond that, since you have been doing that, since you've been working with lawyers, or I don't know what specifically can be done for cases, but even people who enter the United States through legal status, and for them to even obtain their green cards or whatever, or even job authorization, it's just difficult. What you and your group doing about that?
So we honestly have limitations right now. One thing, I wish I was in Congress because I could do that, but the reality is that we have limitations because we don't have the majority under the Democrats. We do the administration is working unchecked right now, and we do anticipate that the Democrats will get the House again, and that once they get the House, we will have the opportunity to fight against, sort of put laws in place and do a check, because right now the immigration agency is moving without checks. They're stalling people's applications. They're deporting people who have valid status. And we do have lawyers that are fighting this in administrative courts, and they are not prevailing. And sometimes, regardless, you see what Garcia Abrego Garcia, and that's a example for you all. That's one where the court said that he should be returned home, and then they were sending him. They were going to send him to Liberia at one point. So they were sending him everywhere but the place that he belongs. So that is one thing that does concern me, and that I would that I am concerned with, looking at some of the concerns overall, is that we do need to get an unchecked system right now, needs a check. It needs a barrier, and it's no barrier until we get some. We don't have majority in the House, nor do we have majority in the Senate. And we have immigration issue has been one where the Republicans have not moved across the aisle on that issue against Trump. So they do seem very much solid with Trump on that issue, where some other issues they've been able to at least move the Republicans to move with the Democrats. This could change in 26 if the House does move back to the Democratic status. So from the local level, the only thing we can do is make sure that we are not a part of it. And then we also are trying to provide people with lawyers, so if they do go through a deportation process, that they would have somebody there to address. They would have a lawyer that can address their issues. We've given funding to CASA and some of the other organizations, because a lot of these people are our residents. They live here. They've been living here. And believe me, some people are talking about people that have just been here for last year or something, but some people have status troubles that have been here for years, decades. It depends. And then sometimes people have been waiting. They haven't heard back. So it's so complicated, and it's so frustrating to be in a position where we have a very little power right now, but that will change later on this year.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. Weir, do you have like a follow-up on your question, or because I'd like to move to Mr. Brown? Mr. Brown. Oh, I'm sorry. If you have follow-up, go ahead, Mr.
No,
Weir.
I do not have a follow-up question. I have a comment later.
Thank you. Let's hear from you, Mr. Brown.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, you.
Yes. Thank you, Derek. Yeah, thanks everybody. I know we were sort of speaking of immigration, but congratulations. Is a great work to see advocates. I'm a CASA advocate myself, and it's so great to hear what you are doing out there in Maryland with the people. So I got like just two questions, please.
Just one for now, Mr. Brown. One for now, please.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so I think in the county, from an advocate standpoint, I believe you guys have a free lunch to a certain extent. It depends on the parents' amount they make. I just wanted your opinion. What do you believe in free lunch across the board, regardless of your parents' income? Because, like I said, from an advocate standpoint, I believe there should be free lunch regardless of parents' income, because sometimes, in my opinion, for instance, if you make over $80,000 and forgot to give your child or children money for lunch that day, I don't know what's the procedure in the school, but I just wanted to hear your opinion specifically on that free lunch across the board.
The truth is, and I appreciate your advocacy, I would say this, it's not feasible with money because money is limited. I would tell you this, many of free reduced lunch has been mostly funded at the federal level. And what I would say in our Prince George's County, nearly 80% of the students in our system are getting free and reduced lunch. That in itself is, that's about 2 to 300 million dollars, and that's just for the people that are getting, and that doesn't even include the wealthy people who have money. So the reality is that these things cost. A lot of Americans cannot take the taxing that's coming on them, the burden of taxes that is coming on them, that they are, in our community, people are saying there's high property taxes and they can barely pay it. So the reality is that with that, we would say, I would love to say everybody should get a free lunch, but the truth is we have people in our community that are millionaires. And I feel like, if you're a millionaire, you can afford to get your kid lunch. You can afford to send your kid lunch. If you forgot it, there's ways that you can get money to them, especially in a day and time where there's Cash App and there's all types of places that you can get the lunch. So I do think that I have people in the communities that I represent that are making quite a bit of money, and for us to strain the resources of the county to pay for free lunches will not be feasible. And I would say this, one of the things we're facing is that it's a possibility that the free and reduced lunch that we're giving to our families in need, we might not be able to we might not be getting that money from the federal government. And if we do, then we have to go in our coffers and spend the money. Remember, we had in Maryland, they had the Blueprint for Education, and they approved that in 2021. And what that said is that we are simply, the public school is failing because there simply isn't enough resources for all of the assistance that's needed. So we can't even add anything to it. Right now, if a student comes to school, a lot of students, especially, you can assume some people are going in their homes and having a very difficult time making it. And they have mental illness, they have all these things going on. And when they get to a school building, that's oftentimes where you will see all these problems. So for our school system, we need to have a teacher, but a teacher that can just teach. And what we have to do when we see fights in school, some people say, y'all need to get the kids under control. But you understand, some of these kids are coming from troubled houses where they literally are dealing with a lot of mental illness. So when they walk in a school building, that is a boy or girl that is struggling. I mean, we just had last month, we had a girl that opened up a side door and her brother came in and stabbed somebody. So what we need is we have to have all these mental health counselors. This in addition to all of the teachers, to having teachers, all of the support systems to help kids keep up. The school system is so expensive. So out of $5.9 billion budget that the county has, nearly $3 billion of that money has to go to the school system. And people are mad about it because that's your property taxes. That's 60% of the money. And the worst part of that is that it's not enough. So you're talking about giving everybody free and reduced lunches. That's a couple more. That's about another 200 million plus. And then that means that we got to put the burden on the taxpayer to pay that. And that's very hard. So it's a reality is that in a way we have to look for places to cut and not pay. And that's one. If you have a family that you're coming from a family that has the means, then you don't need the free lunch, because with a $200 million payment that we have, it doesn't make sense to do that when we have money that we really need for other things.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Blige. Before I ask you my question, if you can just correct me here if this isn't a misconception, but within the Liberian community or African community, you will say, whenever there is an elected official that happens to be one of us, we tend to assume that they will fight for issues that are affecting us. So I'd like to build on that and ask you this question. In your line of work, I know you still have to represent your community. How do you juggle between issues that are affecting the Liberian community and that of the issues that are affecting the community that you represent? Do you prioritize one over the other? How do you go about making your decision?
The issues are the same. I mean, when we're talking about the immigrant community, most what you all want, what you want better education for your kids, that's everybody. You want better opportunity for procurement for business, that's everybody. You want to make sure that you have a nice, peaceful community without issues of public safety, that's everybody. So there are a lot of issues that are very much the same, which is why I told the African community to show up because people should know. Now, what we want people to do is recognize that you have a different group that's here that's playing a part of it, and there should be inclusiveness. And that's what we made sure to do. We had an African advisory board that was created by our county executive, Aisha Brayboy, and she placed our Liberian LCA president on it because there needs to be inclusiveness, because there are things that are unique to the immigrant community, such as some language barriers. In Africa, we have a lot of French speaking countries. So we have a lot of people who are coming here and having to learn English and just get on a different tune. We also want to make sure people are inclusive in general with a mostly African American community. We want to make sure people realize that African American is diverse, and you have Caribbean and you have African, you have others, and they bring different things to the table. So one of the things we're trying to get in Prince George's County is inclusiveness, and also connecting bridging the gap. And I always say bridging the gap is really important. There's economic opportunities all throughout Africa, including Liberia, and we have the wealthiest African American community. We should be bridging the gap, bringing those two groups together. So I'm just so happy about how we connect these gaps, how we connect all of these things together, and making sure that we have a community that is part of it. In Prince George's County, we have the most unique community. 40% of the businesses in Prince George's County are actually owned by Africans. And the biggest group in Prince George's County is the Nigerian community. But the reality is that when we used to go to the Chamber of Commerce meeting, oftentimes Africans would never be in the room. And I told the chamber president, I said, why isn't it that we have Africans in this room when Africans have such a big number in the owning business? And we definitely started to push that, making sure that we get that word out. And now we're getting more people. Inclusiveness is important. So it's not different. It's more that making sure that everyone see the differences in the room, and making sure that we see that we're able to celebrate our pride, celebrate our difference while living here in the United States. So I will say that, if you think about what you want, for those of you who live in the US, you want the same thing as your neighbors. And that's something we told everyone. Just because you have a high number of Africans moving in doesn't mean that the goal doesn't change, because the goal is the same: quality of life. And even more so for an immigrant that left the country that they know and grew up to come somewhere else. You're coming here for simply quality of life and opportunity.
Thank you very much. And before I go to my next question, let me check in with Mr. Brown. Sorry, I didn't ask you if you have follow up to Mrs. Bleagate or response to your question. If you have any follow up, you can do so at this time.
I'm fine, Derek. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And before I move on to Mr. Boda, let me just ask this question, Mrs. Bleagate. Do you align with what party values, Democrat or Republican, if you would?
I'm a Democrat. And I will say that I've always been a Democrat. I was president and vice president of Young Democrats. But I would say more so now than ever, I would say that DED fight really opened my eyes that we have the Republican Party of 20 years ago is not even the Republican Party of now. We literally had nurses and people who were saving lives. One of the lady works that supports those with mental health. And we had Republicans get up and say, build the wall, lock them up. And I was thinking, this is the woman that puts the tube in your mouth to make sure that you live. This is the person that's teaching you about your medication so that you won't die. This is the person that's caring for your child that has mental health, and you're saying build the wall and lock them up. So I just think that this party has has lost their way and their focus. It's one of those things. And I would say there is the billionaire mindset that has wiped out a lot of the small businesses and wiped out so many opportunities. Now we're talking about AI wiping out opportunities. So for all of this, I do think that the ultimate goal that was in place before has been lost, especially the bringing down of unions. But the immigrants are not to blame for this. They are not. And I think that, and I understand that the social issue sometimes impacts our community not wanting to align themselves with the Democratic Party. But remember, at the time, I think people would look. You can vote based on social issues, but what party is pushing to make sure that those in our community is deported? And at this point, it is the Republican Party.
Thank you. Pardon me, Mr. Boda, just to do a follow up on my question. When you make a statement and say the Republican Party is not what it used to be 20 years ago, is that statement just unique to the Republican Party, or can we say the same thing about the Democratic Party as well? Why not?
Well, I would say this: no party is perfect. There are missteps that I feel that the Democratic Party should have taken. I will say, even with this election, although I was a big Kamala Harris supporter, I do think that we wanted the Democratic Party to really address the people's paychecks. That's what's going on now. Most people can't afford to buy groceries for their kids in a grocery store. They can't afford to buy. They said the average car note is at $1,000 a month. They can't afford all of the fees that have been increased. We had to increase fees in Maryland because of trying to pay for the blueprint in the school system. They can't even afford, there's some people that are saying the gas is expensive. Just life, the quality of life is so expensive. And that is where I feel like the Democratic Party needed to jump in and say, we are for the people. Here are the policies that we're going to put in place: child care, tax credit, all of those things that will be our focus to tell people, we know your pockets are hurting, but we're here to help.
Thank you. Thank you very
And
much. I would like to move the conversation into Liberia politics, but let's hear from our panelists first. Mr. Boda.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to say thank again to Ms. Wadi for your gesture for Liberia. I saw that your council had donated some item for fire department. And I really want to say thank you for your selfless support to our community. I know Liberian community, especially in terms of fire, and many of our agencies are behind, far, far behind when it comes to training, when it comes to equipment. Is there anything you guys are in partnership with our fire department or the Liberian government, especially your county in particular, in finding some meeting some of our challenges or providing training for our community in Liberia? Is that what this is all about, or it just one of
well,
those?
we have an announcement that we'll be bringing soon, and that's the Liberian sister nation between the Republic of Liberia and the state of Maryland. That will be the first. Right now, Liberia has two counties that is sister state with the state of Maryland. That is Bond County and Maryland County. But we're looking to expand, and what we're great to know is that right now, the ambassador. Ambassador Conte is working with the Secretary of State in Maryland on an agreement. And what that agreement is going to do is open the state of Maryland wide open so that we can work, the Port of Baltimore can work with the Port of Liberia. The schools, University of Maryland can work with University of Liberia. And then we're talking about training. And what we told our fire chief is that we have a new fire chief, and Chief Macalides, and what we want her to do is head to Liberia and help with equipment, help with all those things. But this official relationship is going to be huge. What it's going to cover is going to be really vast, and we're actually looking to see how to connect all the dots. So we're working on that right now. But I will say that we are very happy to announce that this is going to be something that hopefully they will be signing this agreement this year. This is the 250th anniversary of the state of Maryland. And one thing that they saw is that the rich relationship that the Maryland has with the Republic of Liberia. They were actually part of the funding of bringing the slaves to Liberia, and they put, I think, $10,000 is written there, and they're gonna. So we're working with the 250 Commission to put Liberia in the history books for the Maryland, but we also want to celebrate that with this formal relationship, and this relationship will open the doors for all. We're going to reach out to all jurisdictions beyond just Prince George's County for collaboration.
Thank you very
Thank,
much. You'll be
thank,
blessed.
thank you very much, Mr. Boda. Mr. Jawakin, I believe you do have a question.
You're muted.
You're on mute, Mr.
I think it's the control person.
Yes,
Are
go ahead.
Are you hearing me now? Oh, so
Yes.
just a follow-up question on the immigration issues. There are a lot of people who are very, very fearful, running away, whether even people who are legitimately here that have a proper green cards, whatever. But my question is about the operation of ICE. So probably there are other people that are listening or watching right now. What would be advised to those? What should they do if they were to be approached by an ICE agent? Should they comply to what they are being told to do? Should they run away? What is your advice?
Thank
Well,
you.
they have to. Yeah, they
Thank you,
have to
Mr. Bleakey.
comply.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I just want Mr. Brown to ask his question, because after your response, we're going to have to take our first break. Mr. Brown, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, Derek. I just want to say, like, it's a great work. I'm really enjoying the advocacy work. I want you to keep it up. You know, this actually inspire a lot of, you know, young advocates and people that actually want to do the work. You know, so you know that's that. So me, you know, you're doing a phenomenal job. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Bleakey.
Well, I would just say this. What we've advised people is please don't run away, because running away will not help you. You will not win that battle. But what we will say is I will ask people to reach out to our office, and we will try to see if we can connect them with lawyers that once they're detained, they can have a lawyer at the administrative hearing. And I would say that if they could reach out to W. Blegay, my name, WB as in boy, LEG as in girl, AY, at co.pg.md.us, or they could reach out to us anytime, or Instagram, or all of those things. And we would try to connect them with CASA, or we have C&J Migrants, we have the Nigerians, and all these organizations that are there to support people if they are deported or they're facing deportation, because they would have to give you a hearing. They should be giving you a hearing before deportation, and we would like people to have lawyers with them when they go for when they go. So we're asking. So that's part of what we're doing too.
Thank you very much. And before we take our first break, since we still have a few minutes left, on the work ICE is doing, Mrs. Bleakey, are you opposing the entire work ICE is doing? Some people are on the fence and be like, "Oh, leave immigrants alone," but some are saying that if there are some that do not have the proper documentation to be in the United States, then ICE should and do what they have to do. So now, what is your stance on? Are you against the entire work that ICE is doing, or you want on one and agrees with something and then not agree with it on the other hand?
No, I'm against all of what ICE is doing. They are going after people who are not bothering. The one thing that I agree with is somebody is committing crimes. That's different. But if they're not committing crimes, a lot of the people that they are targeting are not causing any problems. We're talking about people who are active in this system. And the reality is that a lot of people come here with different status, and over time, let's just face it, they get married, or they have all these things worked out, and now they become citizens. We know it. We are around people that one day had an issue with status in here, but they're still contributing to society. So the reality is that for 3 decades, States. The United States allowed a large number of immigrants to come into this country. And frankly, in some economists, they argue that this is helpful. It's helpful to have immigrants in your community, but to go and scare people and go after them in these ways after, you're talking about, look at DACA. DACA, we had to do that because literally families that have been here since the 70s and 80s, their kids cannot go to public colleges because of their status. We have failed to do immigration reform. We failed it. For many decades, we have said, many presidents said they're going to do immigration reform, haven't done it. No agreement. So there's been no reform. So you have a lot of people that would like to be citizens, would like to have a pathway to citizenship, and have spent their time giving back to our community for decades. It's only fair that we would just say, here is your status, here is your here is your citizenship or green card or things like that. And just know that and people need to look at the bigger picture. Who are we focusing on? People of color. That's who they're going after. That's what we see in Prince George's County. And despite other groups doing the same thing, one of the biggest, some of the European groups have some of the largest immigrants in this country, but yet they're going after people of color. So we say, without the fairness, I don't believe this is the way to go. If it's a person that's committing crime, that's different. But if they're not committing crimes, then we really think there should be, usually there's a story behind it that needs to be resolved.
Thank you. And just to, I have to add to that. You know what? Let's get Mr. Jawinkin. Let me do my follow-up, Mr. Jawinkin. I promised to let you ask the last question. So, Mr. Blake, just to, and I know a lot of people are going to hate me for this question, but it's literally my job to ask questions. Just to be clear, if a person's overstay or visiting visa, are you saying that you will support them staying in the United States? In other words, if ICE or come in contact with someone that do not have the proper document, now overstay their visiting visa, but however, you're saying that you will frown at ICE for taking them into custody. Is that what you're saying?
I would say this: the only time that I believe that there should be action taken is if you're looking at someone who is committing the crime. There are many different situations with visas. I know a lot of people who are waiting for status. They have applications that are pending who are being attacked by ICE. So from what I see, from the standpoint that I see, I would say it depends on the situation. The only one that I think that an immediate deportation is valid is if you have a criminal on your hand.
Thank you very much. Mr. John, can we ask the last question and then we'll take our break after?
All right. Before I ask the question, there's one thing I'd like to say. Before then, once your case was pending in this country, you are allowed to stay. But right now, it's not the case. Whether your case pending or not,
they just deport you.
Just, so I don't want to put that out there because I see a lot of cases that happen like that as well.
Right. And that's what we've seen. That's why I said that's why sometimes the overstay can often be because someone has a pending thing that is pending.
Yes. So my last question will be like, I know for the SPY election up to this point, for those of us who are African, who are Christian, who are this, for the way we vote in the United States, we don't look at the Constitution. We don't look at individual right. We put religious the people, because I spoke a lot of people, even on the same show, when elections come in, they will say, well, Democrats support gay, Democrats support lesbians, Democrats support that. Now we are in a situation now. We all know that what is going on is not because of gay, it's not because of lesbian, it's not because of that. So my question to you is there any way for us, even all Americans, for us to look at the way we elect people? What would be your advice?
I would say this, we do find that the gay and abortion issue has been a distraction, and it's actually distracted people from a bigger point. What I've told people for the most part, I understand the concerns, especially with religious beliefs, but the reality is that while we're working with a party that has been better when it comes to the everyday citizen that's not wealthy, And the reality is that to a certain extent, a lot of people are using social issues to vote against their own interests. And they might say that the social issues are their interests. But I think now people are saying what we've been saying all along. When your family, we work with people, when we had that DED, there were people there that their family members that they couldn't, they were trying to work out the immigration situation, have been voting for the Republican Party based on social issues. And now you're dealing with your aunt facing deportation. And I'm just saying, if voting based on someone being gay and someone being, or abortion was worth it to have your family deported, I would like to hear that from you. But I think each one of them were disappointed and regretful. So I would say this, that don't let people dangle those issues to you, because the reality is that if you are not gay, it doesn't impact you if this person decides to vote to support that a gay person might be able to, a gay couple gets access to healthcare. That doesn't impact you. What will impact you is when the Republicans are now about to put in place policies that will increase your healthcare premiums. You will be paying more. But you voted for someone because you didn't like their stance on supporting gay or abortion. You're going to be paying high premiums. So the reality is that I think people need to look at you. There is no one or two issues that can really impact. If I would say this, look at your issue. Make sure that the reason you're voting for a party or a representative is based on what impacts you directly. And I think that that's what I've told people at the end of the day. No party is going to be perfect. The Democratic Party is not perfect. I've been a Democrat my whole life. And I would say this, there's been times where I don't agree with the Democrats on certain issues, on how their stance on certain issues. But the reality is that I had to do the balancing factor. How does the overall policies of this party impact me? And when I had to do the balancing, for me, the Democratic Party fit better for me. So I would say make sure that balancing is based on your personal life. And I would say some people, the social issues are very paramount to them and they're not going to change on that. And I get it. But the reality is that the Democratic Party, the Republican Party at this time is moving against the interests of all Africans. And that's how I see it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mrs. Blige. I would like to get your opinion and stance on issues going on in Liberia and maybe some parts of Africa. But before I do that, let's first break. And when we come back, we will get into more questions that we have for you. But until then, we'll see you guys after the break.
Attention all organizations, NGOs, and social clubs in and out of Liberia. Are you tired of relying solely on social media to run your operations? An effective web platform is your most important marketing tool, and that's where Tiamet.com comes in. Hello, my Liberian people. My name is Sophia, and I want you to consider this. 53% of consumers do online research about an organization before talking to someone from that institution. That means not having a website could be costing you opportunities. Step up your game and establish a professional online presence. Introducing our web platform, designed specifically for 501c organizations, small businesses, and political organizations, social clubs, etc. At Tiamet.com, we understand how important it is to make a great digital first impression, which is why we offer you all the help needed to develop, maintain, and host NGOs and small and big organization websites by giving you a full suite of services that includes automatic billing for members, membership and visitor portals, first-class design and functionality, and much more. The best part is, it only costs $20 per month. Upgrade your image today with our customized web design services. Visit www.tiamet.com to get started. This is a Liberian-owned business.
In our community, we help each other. But when it comes to prescription pain medication, such as opioids, sharing isn't helping, it's harming.
At Fatu's, we know what it's like to feel a little homesick. That's why we work hard to bring you the very best and freshest imported foods and supplies from home. With quality design African cloths, beauty supplies, and tasty African food items, you'll feel right at home. So what are you waiting for? Stop by Fatu's African International Market for all of your household and family needs. See you soon. Maintaining your vehicle can be a major investment. That's why here at Brothers Auto Care, we pride ourselves on providing professional and reliable auto care at affordable rates. Whether you need an inspection, new brakes, or diagnostic reports, our skillful and experienced mechanics are here for you every step of the way. Call Brothers Auto Care now to schedule your next auto maintenance and repair service. At Brothers Auto Care, we help you drive home with peace of mind.
Did you know 1 in 4 patients who take opioids long-term become addicted? Opioids are strong pain medications like oxycodone, hydrocodone, or morphine. They can help with pain, but they can also lead to addiction and overdose. Take the medication only the way your doctor tells you to take it. And never share them with your family, friends, or neighbors. Know the risks. Stay safe. This message is brought to you by the Multicultural Community Family Services in partnership with LRTM.
Hi, my name is Theophilus Juliban Nelson I. I am the founder and CEO of Lift Africa LLC. Lift Africa started as an employment agency that sought the employment of immigrants coming to the U.S. and finding ways and means to be able to start life in this great your country. Now we have added airport pickups and drop, car rental, or rental. As you see, we have a new business location. Started with just a little office part, but today we have a whole complex that we can do a lot of stuff with.
Hello everyone, my name is Geneva Krantz. I'm the Executive Administrator of Uplift Africa. We have an excellent employment rate at our company. We work with and for you regardless of your situation. If you've ever been in prison, maybe your background isn't great, do not worry. We have a place for you here. We believe in equal opportunity for everyone, especially you. So sign up today and begin earning.
My name is Emmanuel B. Horton, Operational Director for Live Africa. Live Africa is the place to be.
Maintaining your vehicle can be a major investment. That's why here at Brothers Auto Care, we pride ourselves on providing professional and reliable auto care at affordable rates. Whether you need an inspection, new brakes, or diagnostic reports, our skillful and experienced mechanics are here for you every step of the way. Call Brothers Auto Care now to schedule your next auto maintenance and repair service. At Brothers Auto Care, we help you drive home with peace of mind. Welcome to your new home away from home. In the heart of Margibi County, Liberia, this privately owned guest house located at Disco Hill provides a spacious home for vacation rentals, including 3 comfortably decorated bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. Here, we aim to meet the need of every one of our guests. Do you plan on hosting a meeting? Invite your team to our expansive lounging area, which is perfect for conferences. Let our attentive staff help you celebrate life's biggest moments with your loved ones in our spacious indoor and outdoor event area with chairs, tables, and all your event needs. Whether you're visiting home from abroad or right here in Liberia, we're ready to take your call. Welcome home. Call us now to book your reservation at your new home away from home.
Did you know 1 in 4 patients who take opioids long-term become addicted? Opioids are strong pain medications like oxycodone, hydrocodone, or morphine. They can help with pain, but they can also lead to addiction and overdose. Take the medication only the way your doctor tells you to take it. And never share them with your family, friends, or neighbors. Know the risks. Stay safe. This message is brought to you by the Multicultural Community Family Services in partnership with LRTN. In our community, we help each other. But when it comes to prescription pain medication, such as opioids, sharing isn't helping, it's harming. What works for you could be dangerous, even deadly for somebody else. Don't share your opioids. Instead, help by guiding your family, friends, and neighbors to a doctor. Real help saves lives. This message is brought to you by the Multicultural Community Family Services in partnership with LRTN.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the inconvenience. We had some technical issues that we had to address. But we've been having a conversation here with the appointed council member from Prince George County, Mrs. Wada Bliget. So hopefully she will rejoin us for us to complete that segment of the show. Well, until then, we have a panelist, a new panelist to recognize, well, not necessarily new panelist, but just for this episode. But everybody got different time the show can start. But for this controversial and most articulate panelist of the Ohio Zone, he can come whenever. That's literally the protocol here for him. But welcome to the show, Bishop Hager.
Well, thank you very much. Well, my friend Winky Weah, long time seeing you. Happy New Year to you. I wish you the best. And
y'all can be around all the time, man, Bishop.
So our, what we call our host, facilitator, Happy New Year to you. I haven't seen you since last year.
Thank you very much, Bishop Hager, for joining us very early for the next show, I should say. Well, we were having a conversation with Mrs. Wada Bliget about a lot of issues. We talk about immigrations, we talk about her position and the work that she's involved with. And we are at the end of our, because we don't want to hold you here too long. So we'll just have like 2 or 3 more questions and then we'll ask you to close.
I'm so sorry. I had to take an emergency call, but I'm back.
Well, I understand. We were already at the end of the interview, though. I'm sorry for holding you here longer than anticipated. But anyways, thank you. And we hope that this will not be your last time because, like I said, I have a lot of questions on a lot of different issues. But unfortunately, we don't have much time to get into all of that. So we're just going to take 3 more questions, and then we'll ask you to give your closing. So I don't know if you would like to, Bishop Hagan, if you were listening to the show before joining, but I will take 1 question from Mr. Boda, Mr. Jawinkin Wia. Then if you have a question, Bishop Hagan, I will take that, and then I will give Mrs. Bigger to give her the chance to close on her time here today. Mr. Boda, I would like to start with you. Comment, question.
Well, I don't have a question. I just want to thank my sister for her hard work and her commitment to the community. And I hope that you continue the good work and hope that you can achieve all of your plans and goals. We're willing to support you through your endeavor. I say thank you again for Mother Liberia. God bless you.
Amen. Thank you, Plenty. Thank you. Thank you, all of you, so much. It's so good. I just want to get the word out of the great things we're doing. And Dad, I'm an elected official here in Maryland. I know a lot of people are from Philly and Minnesota, but we have a big Liberian community right here in the state of Maryland. And we're going to be making history with the sister nation. You know, Governor Moore is the only Black governor in the country. And for him, this is going to be a level setting when we have the sister nation signed. So please reach out to me, Walla KB on Instagram and Walla Blagay, and I look forward to seeing everyone.
Thank you. Mr. Weir, question, comment?
Okay, yes. So like I don't think I have a question now, but it's good that I get in touch with, or probably I will talk to.
So please reach out to me, Walla.
Probably I will talk to so that, but because the reason is that I as I said earlier, I do a lot of immigration cases, even though I live in North Dakota, but from Minnesota, people ask me a lot of questions. So probably she will be help for some of the issues. But I would like to say I really appreciate what she does. And as you rightly said, the reason why I'm saying this is that many people are listening, watching. This is for everybody. I noticed that many of us, we are selfish. Once it doesn't affect us, we don't care because it's other people until it reaches us. I have experience. I have a lot of Somalia friends. During the election, I used to talk to them, but right now, sometimes they ask me, "Why did I know I was talking what I was saying?" But it is late. So I would like to say thank you very much. We should look beyond the obvious during election time. Even though we are Christian, God will just help us. All I can tell everybody. I don't know, because I'm not ask question. It's good that Bishop Hager there are some people who are Buddhists. There are some people that what's going to happen to them when Christ comes. We don't know. So does it mean we don't deal with them because of what they believe? So I'm just saying that I'm curious because I sometimes I saw the other bishop is not here. Sometimes he will say talking crazy stuff, because if you look at the way we live, let's say for example in Africa, we got tradition. They say we marry to 2, 3 wives. That is not accepted here. So what do you do to come here? So we need to look beyond what is being told. As you rightly said, people who even say who are in Republican Party, they say they are people of God, but people are lies. Like for example, what in January 6th, they say nothing happened. People were playing. So is that Christianity? You see things happen, they say no. People are just dancing, nothing happened. So I'm not questioning people. But what do you believe in life? What kind of God are you serving? Question. Thank you.
Right. And that we actually tell people, that's why I said, understand some of this is by design. Some of the focus on social issues we believe is to push our people to go against our own interests. We think it's by design. So what we said, don't get hoodwinked, don't get tricked. And I know there's all this thing where that many people go into the Black community and say, oh, the Democratic Party is taking advantage of you. But what we want to show is that, of course, there is some part where each party is taking advantage of the people that support them. But the reality is that this party is working hard to make sure that Black businesses and people of color businesses are not able to get contracts and use MBE and take away our ability to go for bringing, you know, all of the issues where barriers so that we won't go into, we won't be able to get into colleges and all of these things. Meanwhile, a lot of these people are taking advantage of the countries. Remember what happened in Liberia that brought us here. So we remember we have groups, the same place, the same people who are involved with invading countries. Look what happened in Venezuela. But then they would say, but we do not want these people in our country. Then don't meddle in their country. So now that you've meddled, they're here, then you don't want them to stay. So at this point, we have to look for our own interests. And what we're telling people is that don't get hoodwinked, because sometimes by design, they're trying to break you and make you second guess your own interests. But remember, at the end of the day, what policies are they putting forth that helps you at all, and you as yourself? And that's really, you know, that's really key.
Thank you very much, Bishop Hager. Do you have a comment or question?
Thank you very much. I came in when you almost leaving. I hope you shouldn't leave, because you've been saying some very wonderful things. I've been watching you on YouTube or Facebook. One of the challenge, and you're a dynamic, a young lady. Sorry to use the word young, but a lady. And I do a lot of mobilization during electoral season in America to mobilize people to take advantage of voting. Our people, Liberians, when you look at our engagement in politics or in voting, is very, very negligible. We really think that we came here to look for money, and it doesn't concern us. So like the going election, that I actually mobilized more than 50 people to go vote. Some of them I went to their home to pick them up to say, go to the polling station. So at your level, based on the low level of democratic engagement of our people, what would be the strategy to mobilize our people to be really engaged? Because at the end of the day, issues, the thing will not affect them, do affect them. They're going election. I was telling people, and I'm a pastor. A lot of my pastor friends voted Republican. I told them, really, since the Bible time, homosexuality have been around. It's not my issue. I'm not going to stop it. I'm voting on immigration. That's all I was voting on, period.
So I would say this, and I do have to run, but I just want to say this. The biggest problem we have in the African community is that we are so focused on home. And not that home is not, there should be no focus, but you can walk and chew. And so we have people who are here for 30, 40 years. They cannot name a mayor, a council member, a congresswoman, nothing. But they can tell you who is District 9 representative for Nimba County. This person did this person. They will be telling you that they're going to make money so they can go home, build their house so they can come run for office. So they will be all these things that we will hear say, but they can't get involved locally. And I would say that it cripples us in both ways. Number one, you're not a stakeholder in the place of power. Look at all these other communities. Even when it comes to immigration issue, no one even thinks of the African community, and we have people suffering. And that's what we learned with the DED. We were scrambling. And I remember one congressman pulled me aside and he said, we have Liberians in Maryland. They're here. And that tells you something, is the fact that we just go to work, go home, and spend our time focusing on home instead of the place that we live. But your children will grow up here. Your grandchildren will grow up here. You even come here, even if you said, I'm going home, you're going to be coming back for medical exams to do that. So what we told people is that for our people, it's time for us to focus on the place that you live. And that is what you need to do. That's where your focus should be. And you can still focus on Liberia. It doesn't change you from focus on Liberia. But the reality is that other groups have leveraged their power here in their home countries. And we haven't, because we're not even showing, no one knows that we're here. So I did tell the leaders of EULA, I said, if one person in DD gets deported because we can't get this done, it will be on your heads. Because that is what we're here for. So what I will tell people, Liberians, it's time to wake up, get involved locally, run for office, get involved. Remember, look at the sister nation that we're talking about literally came from a relationship I had with the Secretary of State's office. And the guy said, this is a great idea. And I said, let's not make it just an idea. Let's activate it. And if I weren't in that position, if I didn't have the interest in Liberia, it wouldn't be done because I have the interest. So anyway, I do have to go. I thank you all so much for having me here. I have to run and take care of a family issue, but thank you plenty. I just love all of you so much, and I look forward to coming back on here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Bliege. Well, thanks to all of you panelists for your question. Next time we have Ms. Bliege here, we'll try to at least get a Republican, and so at this we can at least challenge her instead of us all being or partisans or fans of, because a lot of Republicans here, not Republicans but Democrats here, with all of the Democrats' values. It's very interesting to hear a bishop talking about homosexuality and taking that stance like he did.
He said it was before the Bible was written.
I'm very intrigued. But anyways,
we're gonna talk about
let's move on to the conversation we
but you're really trying to be disingenuous here. And I have
Bishop Hagar again
trying to be disingenuous. Can you
protect me, Hagar?
No, I'm not going to protect you. You're trying to spin it in a way that I did not say. I'm saying homosexuality is not my issue. Why? Because being existent, only God can solve that homosexual issue.
That is in the Bible, yeah.
Yes. Government cannot solve homosexual issue. It's a sin issue. It is sin, and no government can regulate sin. They only take the power of God. So for me, during the election, homosexuality or transgender, they were not my issue. My issue was immigration, and that's what I'm saying.
So as a bishop, what is your issue?
No, Mr. Brown, we have a whole different.
As a bishop, what is your issue? I just want to ask that one question.
No, that is not.
What is your issue?
That is not.
How will you get into a lie? Then talk about what about the lies?
Yeah,
I'm surprised that you can't even do the lies.
Mr. Brown, that is not the topic.
I can wonder why.
That is not.
Lies, and they say
that is not.
why you support lies.
That is not the topic. That is not the topic.
I don't think my answer was going contrary. I just asked a question.
Mr. Brown.
If you want me to answer Mr. Brown's question, I can answer the question.
Bishop Hagar, it will take the conversation to a whole different place. Because me, I have question too. Will you answer my question? Mr. Buddha might have question too. Will you answer my question? I don't want for us to make that the subject matter today.
Okay.
I would like for us to talk about what everybody around the world is talking about: U.S. invasion of Venezuela and taking the president and his wife in custody. And also, if we can look back in Liberia, not to take any dig at the government, but we saw the political advisor of Mr. 40 years in politics being involved in a lawsuit. We're not going to talk about that. We see LDA officers assaulting a Liberian woman. Well, again, on the other hand, they're doing an extremely phenomenal job. We're not going to talk about that. But the president released a New Year message on the he released a New Year message that you can find on the Executive Mansion website. What do you guys think about that? But let's talk about U.S. invasion of Venezuela. Let's see your position on that, and because I don't want to take this conversation into a Mr. Brown and Bishop Hagar conversation. But what do you guys think? It's been the hot topic this week around the world, and Liberia just literally responded and condemning the U.S. actions and also expressing concerns. Bishop Hagar, since you came on late, let me start with you on that. What do you think?
What I've been following.
I'm sorry, but be very mindful of the immigration status too, and form your opinion on that matter. But go ahead.
Well, listen, as it stands, I've been watching the news, and I see a lot of Venezuelans who come from Venezuela supporting the action. So they believe that the president was a dictator, they believed that he was not the rightful president. So if the majority of the Venezuelans suffer under him and they said he's not a rightful president and that the action there was necessary because of what he has done. I am not a Venezuelan. I don't have no interest in it. Since you asked me, whatever the Venezuelan want, that's what they will get. Whether it is right or not, I can't judge. You know, I'm just here to say I'm watching the news, I'm following the development. I've seen a lot of Venezuelan all over, those in Colombia, those in Costa Rica. They are all demonstrating, they are all celebrating that it was the right thing. So who am I? It happened to us in when President Charles Gange Taylor was literally fetched up and taken over into The Hague. People in South Africa and around the world were condemning it. Liberians were in favor. They felt that it was the right thing for Liberia. So even though a lot of people in South Africa demonstrated that it was not right, but what the Liberian people wanted, that what happened? Ivory Coast President Laurent Gbagbo was fetched up by the French people. The Ivorian people never wanted it. The Ivorian people demonstrated true until Gbagbo now is back in the Ivory Coast and have all the right. So what the people want is what will happen. If the people want it, I don't have no comment on that.
Thank you very much. Let's just stay with you, Bishop Hager, because we got to flag the contradiction here. And for the record, what happened with former President Taylor? If you say Liberian people were rejoicing with it, that's misrepresenting the facts. Some Liberians were rejoicing, but not at the act of a sovereign nation coming and trample on the rights and sovereignty of another sovereign nation. So let's represent the facts. The issues that exist, the United States going to another foreign nation and taking over that regime, a lot of Liberians frown on it, and the records are there. And also, if you can, I understand if you're choosing to not form an opinion on the matter at hand, I get it. But your government, the government that you support, the boycott that you literally preach for and support and campaign for, release a statement condemning the U.S. actions. But Bishop Hager cannot form an opinion on that. He released a statement through his representation here expressing concern, but Bishop Hager cannot form an opinion on that. If you would like to comment on that, then I will move to Mr. Jah Winkie-Weah.
One thing I would say, I support my president, the government 1 million times. Whatever they say, they have a seat at the United Nations. The Secretary General of the United Nations spoke, and the Liberian government followed in the footsteps what the global body is saying. So that's it. We understand the geopolitics. As a permanent member, the Secretary General has spoken. The United States on the contrary, the way it says. France spoke, England spoke, all the countries on the Security Council spoke. What you expect Liberia to say? Liberia to say, okay, that's fine. No. So that's how it goes. So for me, on a personal level, I'm saying to you, and I want you to understand that I listened to an interview, and the interview went this way. The Venezuelan guy in New York was asked, why are you supporting this initiative? Isn't it against your interests? And this is what she said. She said, for so long, Russia have taken Venezuelan oil. Venezuelan sovereignty have been abused by other foreign nations. So for us to come and say today that Venezuela have not had problem, Russia have been getting free oil. China have been getting a lot of free things from Venezuela. So what are the issues? They are saying they want freedom for their country. So that's what I would say. Whatever the Venezuelan want, I don't have no interest in Venezuela. Venezuela will not make me to lose any sleep. Whatever happened, that's fine with them. What they want, that's what they can.
Thank you very much, Bishop Hager. And Mr. Jah Winkie-Weah, let me take and give me a sense on that, but I just want you to respond to Bishop Hager, if you will. He's saying a lot of things that I think is contradicting. On one end, if I may, Mr. Weah, on one end, Bishop Hagar cannot form an opinion. On the other hand, whatever the government say, which we know they're saying that they condemn the U.S. actions, and they're expressing concern, but Bishop Hagar cannot form an opinion. And then on the other end, Bishop Hagar is also accusing the Liberian government of only saying what they say because other nations have said it, which in turn means President Bouakai cannot take a stance on international issues on his own. He has to listen to other world leaders. If you can respond to that and give us your stance. Mr. John, we can do you.
Okay, thank you. Let me start by saying this. In addition to Venezuela, we have Colombia, we have Mexico, Cuba, and Greenland, which is also outside of the United States. If removing this president as a dictator was the main reason of drugs, as they said, the going elections was won by a lady, according to international reports, who also won the Nobel Peace Prize that the president of the United States wanted. But what am I driving at? Because the lady won the Peace Prize, he doesn't want to recognize, he feel that what he deserved is what the lady took, so they can give her a chance. But what am I saying this? If you believe that you are doing what the people of Venezuela wants, then why not give the position about, to the whom the whole international community believe won the election. In addition to that, we have Cameroon, for example. Let me go back a little bit. The leader of Cameroon, he has been in power for how many years? If they are protecting democracy, he beat people. Right now, the opposition in Cameroon, he was in hospital. The people, all the people that they arrested, all the people are fleeing Cameroon. Even though the international, all of them know that the man did not win. People are being killed if you care about human rights. But apparently, there is nothing that they will get from Cameroon, or because it is an African country, so he doesn't care. What people are saying, let's say, for example, I will give you, in Liberia, we got Firestone. During World War II, the US built the Freeport of Monrovia, the Rabat International Airport. It's like if Bouakai said today, you know what, Firestone, Liberia going to take over at the Firestone production. If president's going to come back tomorrow and say, okay, Liberian people stole our money because we invested in Firestone, we invested in the Freeport, so we'll remove your president. Because this is the scenario in Venezuela, that the big oil companies that were digging the oil, the people of Venezuela say, no, we'll take over ourselves. We talk about sovereignty, and they got sanctions, and the people choose to deal with China and Russia. It is also true that in this country, the going election, they come to divide 50-50. I'm talking about election, if electoral this and that. Why what happened, people will also celebrate. But that's why I say we should look beyond what we really have interest in. Greenland is a European country. He wants it. Cuba, he wants it. Colombia, he wants it. Is that also, I just want for the thing, I don't expect answer. Is that also, how do you see that? So we should not close our eyes, as I said earlier, because election in this country, when you say it, I know that the lady was just saying, people will say, oh, we just had this country is not our country. People always say this country is not our country. Myself, I engage in the campaigning for people. People who even throw your trash away. You don't know how the laws are made before somebody take your trash. People who respond for that are elected. But we Africans, We say the country is not our country, it's a hustle ground. But this is what our livelihood tie on. So my opinion on this is beyond the people of Venezuela. It's about resources, the oil. The president today, I saw a tweet, he said, all the money, he will control it. So
thank you.
Yes, so I wanted to
Thank
just say
you,
that.
thank you very much, Mr. Jai Winking. You took on the time. I have to do a follow-up on you, so I'll have to come. Let me get the other two panelists. We're running short on time here. Let me hear from you, Mr. Brown. I know Bishop Hager and Mr. Buddha will not form an opinion on this matter, but that's a discussion for another day. Let's hear from you, Mr. Brown.
Yeah, thank you, Derek. I mean, when we say this is what the Venezuela people wanted, I could agree to a certain extent, okay? But here's the thing: was it legal? What happened? The UN came out today and said what they had to say. 80 people died. 80 people died out of only 7 U.S. military got hurt, and the U.S. used about 153 aircraft to go and carry on an operation. Now we can sit here and say, again, it's not concerned. Oh, I believe it do, but I think it was illegal, Derek. I think it was about a whole different thing than what it is. So, on my opinion, I think it was illegal that what the president did, invading into Venezuela.
Thank you. It was illegal, Mr. Brown. Now, since I have time to do a follow-up on you, you listened to Mr. Jai Winking. He says it's the bigger issue here. Mentioned the oil issue. Bishop Hager obviously cannot form an opinion. But what do you think about the contrast in both panelists' response and staying on this issue? What had happened in Liberia with that of the Taylor and Mr. Weah gave a perfect scenario. And then this again on imperialism. We're African. We have big up issue here that we've been advocating, activating for. But if we see a nation, right, a sovereign nation just impedes on the rights of another sovereign nation, and all of a sudden, we have been forming opinion on a lot of major issues, but on this one, don't have any. We don't. Whatever it is, the people of Venezuela want, that's what we're gonna go with. That's what we're gonna go with. But again, on other issues, we get to see it. Why will someone, or why will Bishop Hager take that stance, especially around this time? I understand you say it's illegal.
So Derek, I would just put out a little thing on saying you cannot be a dictator but shutting down another dictator, and that's what Donald Trump did. But to Bishop Hager's point, I mean, Derek, it's the man cannot go. I don't know. He said, "Why you expect Liberia government to see?" So that he's basically saying Mr. Bouaka is incompetent of forming his own opinion, or forming his own opinion because of whatever reasons. You know what I mean? So he's basically saying, what do you expect Labrador to say? The other people then come and say something. So anything the people then say, like, hey, Labrador will follow. Labrador don't have their own opinion. I mean, that say a lot about what he got going on. So I don't know what what to really say about that. But to Mr. Weah, like you were saying, there,
Mr. Brown,
Bishop Hager, we protected you here. Let's protect Mr.
Brown.
Bishop Hager.
You are very young.
Bishop Hager. We still need to hear from Mr. Buddha, Bishop Hager. I will get to you, Bishop Hager.
David said, when I was young, I spoke like a child. Now that I'm old, before I say something, I tame my words. There are reality, there are things, there are interests, there are power at play. So all of you excited, like bro, my jet talk, blah, 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 blah. Listen, there's a reality of governance.
We're
There
not
are things-
disputing that. We're not
Okay.
disputing that. You just told us just now that we're just going by what you said. You said Liberia don't have no choice. Joseph Boakai don't have any other choice but to say the city the people didn't say. Hey, you said, I wrote it down and you said, why you expect Liberia to say? So you said because Joseph Boakai already gave the people already get an opinion, so Joseph Boakai happy and pissed. Joseph Boakai-
Bishop Hager, Mr. Brown,
You
can we
think
hear
we
from
are
Bishop
insulting?
Hager?
I haven't even
We are
told on the last
insulting
one. I was
about
trying to make
Tito.
sure
Bishop Hager, Bishop Hager,
No. Hey, Mr. Brown,
Bishop Hager,
he's
Bishop
sitting in
Hager.
America here. He think we're on some kind of theater. The Security Council spoke. All the other important players already spoken. Little Liberia must come and say something extra. Is that
Little
what you want?
Liberia.
Bishop
But
Hager,
Liberia, you can compare Liberia with France. You can compare Liberia with the Security
Bishop
Council.
Hager, Bishop Hager, here's the thing. We are not disputing what you say. We're just going about what you said. You said
Yeah, but
Little Liberia.
what's the issue?
No, that's
What's
not an
the
issue.
issue?
For me, it's not an issue. I'm not making an issue out of it. I'm not making an issue. I'm just quoting what you said. You said Little Liberia.
But Liberia is little. Liberia is little. You don't know that we little?
But I understand. You said Liberia is Little Liberia. We have a president that's been in governance for over 40 plus years or 20.
I mean, you guys, you need to have your detoxification of your syndrome, worker syndrome.
Let me get a
No, we're not playing fair to Mr. Boda. Let's hear from Mr. Boda.
My point
I'll get back to you, Mr. Brown. Let's hear from Mr. Boda first. We don't have too much time.
Mr. Boda, go ahead. Sorry.
So I got different perspective and view on the issues.
Very closely matched without a Bishop Hager. I'm highly anticipating that. Go ahead.
You can't speak for me.
I'm sorry.
So
go ahead.
I'll give you a couple of scenarios and you can make a judgment. We're talking about Venezuela today. We saw the similar play in Panama. Noriega was picked up from Panama. Similar play in Iraq.
Gaddafi.
Right? Gaddafi. Okay? Gaddafi. I'm just giving you scenarios to look at, the power play, and the reasoning given by the United States to move in the area. Okay? So, for anyone to think that it's about sovereignty and the sovereignty that you claim to have as a nation is a fantasy that I can see. The United Nations is an organization said that saying all of the things based in New York cannot even protest against the removal of Mr. Mandela to go back home, saying it is illegal on the basis of what the United Nations believe in a sovereign state. So what I would say to you here is that the world has the power play of the world. Take, for example, we're talking about Russia. Putin, if you look, Putin have been sanctioned, he have been labeled as genocide. All sort of things were labeled against him. Wasn't it Putin here on the United States soil? And the United States government that labeled him all these different crimes that he have committed against humanity? What happened to Mr. Putin when he got here? So that is to tell you there are so many play within the geopolitical environment that it dictates the interest of various actors. Those actors are America, Russia, China, France, and so forth. Those the big seven. So for you to sit here today and want to think about, yeah, it's illegal, it's that, we agree. All of these things, the legality, the terminology you may want to use is, but America's own interest is spare of cleaning it through our president. He said, we're going after the oil. So there are drugs issues that will kill drug cartel to get Mr. Maduro, but the main focus is what? Resources that we need. So if you don't want to believe that, you're going to sit here and describe whatever you want to talk about. It's just an endless argument. It's not going to do anything. United States are going to be United States, and they're going to do what they can do. That's what I got to say.
But in your opinion, though, is it right?
I just gave you a scenario. I don't know what you want me to say.
I
gave you all the scenario that was happening. So was all of those things, was it right?
I'm asking you.
Right. It was right there. It's still not right.
President Trump spelled it out. He's going for the oil, and he's using the drugs cartel to go for another country resources. Let's not forget, you're from a country that's blessed with iron ore and rubber. Is it right for another nation to come and say, okay, we're going to come for your resources? It's just, I think listen to me. Is it right or is it wrong?
Do you think you want to continue with the
what I'm saying to you is what I right or wrong
be involved with, man.
What I right or wrong, if America decides today they're going to Liberia and they have an interest there that they want to root out Mr. Bouakai today, who can stand in the face of the United States and say no, even though it's wrong, but who going to prevent it from happening?
At least I got on the meetings that even though it is wrong. My point is, because I think we are indoctrinated, our freedom of speech have been we have been indoctrinated so much that sometimes we are afraid to speak, especially when it is a certain sovereign nation.
Gary, we look. I gave you scenarios that you didn't even answer those scenarios. I give you all the scenarios that I gave you. You got sanctioned. You Mr. Putin was charged for crime against humanity. He was in America. Was he arrested? We went to Iraq. We took Saddam. We went to Libya. We killed Gaddafi. All across. We went to Panama. We told Noriega, brought him here. And we just have another drugs cartel from where the president gave him a pardon. Who are involved in the same drug cartel that will call another cartel to bring here. So look at all of those scenarios, then you can make a judgment. That's what I'm saying to you. If you want to bear your hair into the legal aspect of the right or wrong, then you can waste your time.
Let me go back to Bishop Hager. Bishop Hager, let me ask you this question, right? When it was Russia that invaded Ukraine, the opinion was very clear. Russia was wrong. You can't go to another sovereign nation because you want a territory. Can't do that. When it was France refusing to move to leave Burkina Faso, if the people of Burkina Faso don't want you there, you need to leave. And the point of the matter here, when it is the United States doing something that's wrong, why is it difficult for us to just call it out that it is wrong?
Protested against the move? Had they protested against the move?
We are not talking for the people of Venezuela here. We're talking
Venezuela in question, though. Venezuela is in the question.
You asked me a question, right?
Yes, I want to be protected so I can finish my question.
No, but Venezuela that you talking about, are they protesting against the move?
Is it
You're
wrong
watching,
or is it right?
Mr. Boda, the media manipulates information all of the time. We've been around this long enough.
Come on, Derek. Come on. Derek.
Listen to me. I'm not saying the information that is coming to us are being manipulated, but I'm saying there's a possibility. Okay, if you go to Venezuela today and see nobody is protesting against that, then we can have an argument. But as far as what the media put out, if that's what we're going to look at to draw a conclusion, there I say maybe we're not looking too much. But let's go back. We have a specific question for Bishop Hager here. Bishop Hager, based on his relationship with the government in Liberia, just recently, President Bouakai was here in the United States meeting with President Trump. My question to Bishop Hager, what did that pay off to the Liberian people? Because I know Bishop Hager was on their hands-on talking about, it's big for the Liberian people, a lot of promises. But hey, we just been here with travel ban by the same United States of America. How is that benefiting the Liberian people? President Bouakai meeting with Trump. What was the real reason they met? We know the real reason, but I want for Bishop Hager to talk about that. And let's draw back in this whole Venezuela invasion, Bishop Hager. I am shocked, to be honest with you, that you cannot form an opinion on this. If it was other nations involved with this, you would definitely have formed an opinion. You would definitely want to have this conversation. But because it is the United States that I believe, and I can say this on camera, is in the wrong here. But all of a sudden today, you will not form an opinion on this, but you will come back tomorrow and say, we need to fight for a better Liberia. We need to advocate for and against X, Y, and Z. This is the time where voice matters. It doesn't matter what party is acting. When wrong will always be wrong, and right will always be right. Let's call everybody out as they should, regardless of what power they hold in the world. But again, I would like for you to speak to the benefit of President Barack meeting President Trump.
Well, I'm very happy that you brought it up today. Liberia was excluded from Trump administration latest travel ban and visa restriction, which affect nearly 40 countries worldwide, including several major African countries, including Ivory Coast, Nigeria, and Senegal. Liberia is benefiting. We are exempted from the travel ban. You say President Barack came here. What benefit? Liberian got a lot of benefit. Listen, I will tell you something. There was a time in my life, personally, everybody's problem was my problem.
If I want to engage with Bishop Vega, I know where you
Listen. There was a time in my life.
Whenever Bishop Vega get president,
are you going to allow me to speak?
You're protected, Bishop Vega.
I said there was a time in my life, everybody's problem was my problem. Now it comes to a place in my life, I must focus on my own problem. Liberia had so many times we've been seriously, we have so much problem. Nobody came for us. At this time in our history, our nation, we got to focus on what is good for the Liberian people. What will benefit the Liberian people? What will help to create jobs for our young people? Talking about Venezuela, talking all the thing about Venezuela will not help any Liberians in Monrovia. Will not help any Liberians in Nimba. Will not help any Liberians in Maryland. We have major issues in Liberia that needed to be addressed. I am more focused on my people. All my energy right now is about Liberia. I'll be honest, the world we are living in, and I want you to understand, you're a young man, this world is not a fair world. It's not fair. You must live in that. You're not going to change it. So listen, are you going to protect me?
I'm going to protect you, Bishop Vega, but I'm just going to say...
All right. Let me land.
Barry, how long
Go ahead, Bishop Vega. Go ahead.
If you're going to drive me for this show, tell your mother, tell your chief. Do not be sending me messages. I won't come again.
You do the same thing to people. You interrupt people. You hijack the show. So nobody's trying to get you out of the show. But anyway,
the Bible says, young, I spoke like a young man. When I'm old, I speak like an adult. This issue, Derek, it's not your area. In America, those who have the political, what I would call ingredient, those who have the political capital, the Afrin Jeffrey spoke for the Democratic Party. There are so many senators represented. They have already spoken. Who am I to escape my opinion? My opinion doesn't matter. Yeah, those who are supposed to speak already spoken, and that settled the issue. Peter Hager opinion have nothing. I'm saying to you, Venezuela, I will not lose any sleep for Venezuela. The Venezuelans, they decided what they want and what they will get. Simple. I'm not a one. I am not a Venezuelan. I will never become a Venezuelan. I will never get engaged in Venezuelan politics. It's not my area to speak on, and I'm going to maintain that. Thank you.
We're early out of time, Mr. Brown.
Mr. Martin, please. Derek.
Go ahead.
So I was just going to say, right, on that Monday that President Maduro was getting his hearing, the preliminary hearing, there was protester outside against what the U.S. did, Venezuela protester.
They were all Americans, according to Mr. Boda and
people. No, Mr. Martin didn't say that. Mr. Martin asked a question. Don't Mr. Boda, Bishop Hager twisting and turning this thing. But Mr. Martin, there are people against what the president or USA have done in this regard. So I just wanted to say that it happened on Monday.
But you gotta be honest. Now you saw a lot of demonstrators there also supporting.
Mr.
So
Brown?
don't just speak on one side. my
No,
friend.
no.
Mr.
you
Brown?
say it was for the people. I was just making. He
No,
asked
but don't just.
Wait,
I
no,
saw
no.
the demonstrator
Hold-
myself.
hold on now.
Be intellectually honest, young man. You get a
I'm just-
future.
hold on now. I'm
Don't
not
come and
arguing.
bend this thing. Don't try to
you don't
manipulate.
get to say, you don't get to say that.
Mr. Brown, Mr. Brown, be intellectually honest. There were a lot. When you look at the protester, there were more protesters
I'm not
in
disputing
favor.
who was more, who was less.
But how can you play that on this show, Bishop Hager? How can you
Personally,
do
I'm
that?
not disputing who are more, who are less. I was just
No, Mr. Brown. though. How can you call not Mr. Brown but Bishop Hager? How can you call Mr. Brown out for not mentioning the other people that were supporting for you and the United States action in Venezuela when you started this conversation and you only told our audience here that Venezuelans, like all of the people in Venezuela, were waving their white flags and celebrating? Did you ever think about the people that were advocating or were condemning this, including your very life brother? Did you mention that? How can you now call Mr. Brown that he's being intellectually dishonest for not mentioning the other people that were advocating and for that? How can you say that?
Mr.
I was just
Moran,
reporting what I saw.
was addressed to you.
I was
What do you
reporting
think?
what I saw.
Let's hear.
Reporting what I saw.
Mr. Boda,
Venezuelan
Yes,
in
sir.
support of it. That's
I
what
believe
said.
you had a comment. Let's get from you because we're running fast and we'll have to close this. Go ahead.
Like I said, I stated earlier, right? The wrong issue that we want to talk about, we want to be expedient by saying America was wrong. Yeah, so be it. Venezuela is a sovereign state. Maduro was a sovereign president, and he got pulled from the country. That aspect, yeah, everybody knows it was wrong.
Thank you.
But what are we going to do to change it, to make that wrong right? Are we going to fight for his release? Have you heard anybody ask for his relief? The United Nations, are they here? They right there in New York. They made in assembly. All was condemnations, but it was nobody asking, say, hey, we need immediately release this man to go back to your country. There had not been any fight for relief for this man saying it is wrong that they're talking illegally. So what is the condemnation and you cannot do anything on the condemnation? What is it?
Thank you, Mr.
Yeah,
Boda.
for you to talk and make noise. That's all. Make condemnation.
Thank you, Mr.
noise.
Boda.
You're not gonna be making noise.
I agree with you, Mr. Boda. On one end, we don't have the power to do anything, but we get behind these microphones and in front of our cameras. The one job we have is to form an opinion on national and international issues. But let me just say this, okay? And this is to Bishop Hager again. If you listen to Bishop Hager earlier, that is the definition of the common adage we get in Africa or Liberia: fear America. Fear America. When it is America doing something that everybody can see wrong, Bishop Hager is telling you that fear America and don't say anything. Just speak freely, but make sure you don't put the United States of America in the wrong. And I'm saying this to say because we have to stop that. My generation, or my generation, will refuse to accept that idea from you that we cannot speak based on how powerful that nation is. If they're wrong, they're wrong. That's just period. And so another thing you spoke on, Bishop Hager, is if Bishop it season on the show, and there's one thing that's very consistent, or I should say constant, about Bishop Hager, how easily he changes position. You know, during the elections here, he gave a whole speech. At some point in time when I was young, I saw things this way and that way. So I told the Liberian people, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf will be the best person for you. 6 years later, he came back. Or at some point in time again, you know, the bishop will use the Bible. We saw that Ellen did X, Y, and Z. So I told the Liberian people, go and vote for George Weah. He will come back there a few months later, criticize George Weah. And then he will summon side again, right back to the Unity Party. So whenever you see Bishop Hager going on that personal line, he about to change his opinion on things. We cannot continue to do this, do that particular thing in conversations like that, because we're getting tired with it. We have dozens of videos on you changing your opinions. We don't know at this point in time if we're listening to you to voting like bro. We don't know whether Unity Party or CDC is right for us. I just thought to point that out. We do not.
I got a comment.
Unless that is your closing,
you have to
if that
is your closing, Bishop Hagan, if that is your closing, I will let you go ahead because we're about to close the show.
I've been knowing you forever as a sedition. So I have to say
that's the
opinions. All of the attacks against my president Joseph Yuma Boakai is inspired by your CDC route, and that's okay. Meeting your CDC route. I am a very sound person, and I respond based on where the issue is. I'm not going to be static in my opinion. No, I am evolving every time. It doesn't mean that I'm not stable. No, I'm understanding things from a better perspective. For sedition, you want to keep one mindset and just let that all through. Sorry for that. Thank you.
For the record, I'm now a sedition. Mr. Brown, let's get a closing.
Thank you, Derek. So, Bishariga said we might worry about Liberia. So, I mean, maybe you can I answer the question later on, but are we want to worry about the Liberians in Liberia, or we worrying about the conversation in Liberia? But that's neither here nor there. But mostly, what Mr. John Winkin was talking about too. I think we need to have sometimes these conversations on, the U.S. and sometimes some of these things, some of us that have not think about going back to do anything political yet. We would like to be here and develop something for ourselves. So we would like to at least engage in the political conversation here in the U.S. But on the line of everything else, thank you for having me, Derek. I mean, that's a lot of questions I can ask the bishop right now when he made a statement about homosexuality. But that's not the topic for tonight. But Derek, thank you for having me tonight. Thank the House Zone, and Happy New Year, everybody.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brown. Before I come to you, Mr. Buddha, for your closing, I think my producer want me to double down on that disclaimer. Contrary to what Bishop Hagan claimed, I have never at any point in time in my life affiliated myself, supported, or voted for the CDC as Bishop Hagan claims. So what he says falls on my person. And again, to reiterate, I am not a sedition. Never have. Mr. Martin Buddha, your closing.
Thank you. I'm glad that we're having this conversation. When we tend to talk about justice, we want to have a result. Condemnation, yes, it's a weird expression to say, yeah, this is wrong. But what we do to change the wrong, that's what matters. And the world have not ever turned to say, hey, all the wrong that these people have done, or United States have done, take power, talk about democracy, remove government, change of government, all of these things, the global community, all we do is condemn. We have never one day check America. America can take anybody in Georgia. If we commit crime in America as an American, we stay right here. Okay? So all of the things you talk about, it got boundaries. It got some yardsticks. It depends on your political maneuver and your political weight. Politics is about power. It's about manipulations. So whatever you think you can think about today and say about America, America has the willpower to manipulate anything within the world to please its desire and what they deem necessary for America, not for the world. So if you don't understand that, you will always be cracking your head around here. Oh yeah, the injustice in that. There's nothing called justice about America against America interests. You will never have justice against America interests. So if you want to think about that, I'm sorry, man. America interest is what she goes for. It's not a world interest. It's not the expediency of what the world think, or what foreign thing, what Germany think, what Africa think, who our president think. It means nothing to the United States of America. America believes in America and in her idea, in her interest, and what best suit America's interest is what the American government go for. The condemnation will come, but the result will remain the same. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Boda. Let's hear from you, Mr. Jawinkin Weah.
So thank you, Derek. The question of expressing one's opinion doesn't mean it is going to change the position of the United States. Or there are a lot of people in the street, but it is very important because those in power, whether in America or elsewhere, they are listening, no matter where you speak from. Thankfully, there are a lot of videos, there are a lot of stuff, people speaking out. So the idea that because America is a superpower, so whatever she does, no matter if you say she's wrong or not, is also wrong. We need to speak out. So it's the same reason why people vote. And the way to speak out is that like the people who are watching now, they have no idea about some of these things that we are talking about. The way we say it, the way we explain it, may give them some idea. So it is important to give your position on what you believe, whether you are a member of the Democratic Party, Republican Party, but we are all Americans. We are naturally we are Americans, and at the same time we support Liberia. So Bishop, I know you talk about growing up or changing. You talk about David. Yes, this thing happened, but because you are Bishop, whatever you say to people that listen to you, that respect you, that watch you, they learn from you, especially from your opinion. So it is very important to say something. I know there is a fear that because what's happening, maybe if you say that you'll be picked up. No. Thankfully, Liberia, it's not on the list about what's going on now. I know there was a Liberian that was picked up in Minnesota, but it was mistaken identity, so he was released. So it is important because people are listening to you as a bishop. Say your opinion. It will not change anything. With respect to what's going on in Liberia, no, I did not support Boakai. Boakai, I think from the beginning, I saw people here like, oh, I'll give you an example about what's going on because America Bay, Firestone, the Bay, Rabbi International Airport. So the way Boakai making effort with China, everywhere to train Liberians that are capable now to take over the Firestone plantation and say, look, we are not capable, we want to take over our own plantation. Then America comes back tomorrow and says, oh, we invested more money in Firestone for over the years. So Firestone, the people of Montreal says for us, what will you think? You think it will be good? No, this is why it is very important for us to talk about these things. Globally, you know what happened in Cameroon? No interference. So we should call a spade a spade. It's about the oil. Yes, nobody will change their decision in America, but we should face the reality. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, let me just answer the question.
Thank you very much.
Let me answer the question, please. You know, Liberians love all the nations of the world, and we always expressing our opinion for everybody's problem.
30 seconds.
But when it comes to our problem, no nation in the world, Cameroonian, when all the atrocities are going like, they never got time for us. Right now, let me tell you, I put it clearly, and let me go on record. Please let me go on record. I'm not saying problems should come in other people's country. What I'm saying, Liberia, my country, we have so much problem, and we are looking for all the solution. I will not use my energy. I'm not going to use my thoughts to think about anybody's problem. I'm thinking about Liberia problem, how Liberia can be helped. Let everybody hear this. I'm not going to comment on Venezuela. I'm not going to comment on what happened in Ukraine. I'm not going to talk about what happened in Cameroon. I'm thinking about what happened in Liberia, how I can help my people, Liberia is on my mind, and that's it. Whether you want to talk about Venezuela whole day, thank you, congratulations. Quit talking about it. It's not going to help me. It's not going to help any Liberian. Why should I waste my time to talk about it? Thank you.
Yeah, fair America. But thank you guys so much. Those of you watching us on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Instagram. This is where we'd like to draw the curtain to this show. Thank you, Mr. Boda, Mr. Jawinkin Wea, Bishop Hagar, Mr. Brown, and our special guest we have here today from Prince George County, Maryland. Thank you for appearing on the show tonight, Mrs. Wala Blige. We'll be back here next Wednesday at the same time, same network. My name is Derek Yale. And until next time, you have a pleasant good evening and a happy new year.
But Derek, you gotta pay, you gotta stop paying me money because I bring a lot of view to your show. So this time.
Stories told with pure intention. Every voice gets full attention. Building trust without contention.